Hello, this is Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com, and today we're doing our shaky cam interior review inside the brand new Ford Ranger 2019 model. I think all the paperwork that came with this says pre-production, but anyway, yes, Ford Ranger. This is a comeback for the company. The Ranger has been out of the market for 20 odd years. I owned one a long time ago. I have a video on all the vehicles I've owned if you want to go find it. I may remember to link it down there. Anyway, so yeah, we're in the Ranger, and just do a quick review of the interior. You'll also see a video explaining how to connect your phone via Bluetooth, two different options to do that, and also a video showing a more full review of the truck, as well as some exterior shots and so forth. So, moving along quickly. So we start here. Here's your windows here, and the window lock right there. Up there you'll see door locks right next to that. There you go. And here's the first of the vents. One thing you'll notice, there is no bacon and email. You actually just do it with this, like that. So it's totally closed, totally open. Over here, hiding around the corner, that's the mirror adjust. And then this right here, when you push that, it sucks in the mirrors, and you push it again and it pushes them out. I cannot find that there is an auto option for that. So like when you use the fob to lock it, that it does that. It is probably in the menus somewhere buried, but I couldn't find it. Down here's your lighting. So you see fog lamps are on the left. Get a focus maybe. Focus. Okay. And then here's the indicator. You can just see it. So that's the automatic lights there, and then it cycles through. And then over here's the dimmers. You can see by the indicator that is for the interiors. So this dims the interior stuff. And then way down there, that's the cargo light. So the light that appears below I believe it's below or next to or with the third parking brake that's on the top of the cab. So there you go. Brake light, parking brake light, whatever. It's a brake light. All right, this is a Ford, so things are reversed Euro style. So over here you have your controls for the driver information screen, which is actually right there, not over there. Driver info screen. Down here are your cruise control stuff. This sets the distance for the adaptive cruise. This turns it on and off. The rest is probably pretty self-explanatory. You resume and cancel with the same button there. On the other side of the steering wheel, here's the stuff that runs infotainment. So this runs the infotainment screen. This runs the so you jump tracks and or use the phone with these two. This is a voice activation, which with Ford Sync 3 is very good, so use it often. Down here is a quick mute button, so you can mute either the phone call you're on or the radio, depending on what's going on. And then volume controls over here, also for phone and or radio, depending again on what you're doing. Moving up, here we have the washer, wipers, etc. You set the speed here. You use the indicator up and down. You can see that second one. So technically the first setting, that is the automatic wipers. So they'll rain sense and all of that good stuff. Over here, and washer and whatnot, pushing forward or pulling back. Pull back towards you to run the washers. Over here, if I can get it to show, there we go. So over here you have your signal turns up and down, your lighting here, and then you can see this button right on the, if I can get the angle, there we go. If you see this button right on the end, that is your lane keep assist. So interesting placement, I guess. Looking at the instrument cluster. So this is, I believe, an upgrade cluster. I don't think it's the standard cluster in this truck. This is what's the name of this package? The Lariat. This is the Lariat package. So, again, pre-production, I have to warn you, some of this stuff might change in the actual production vehicles. Probably not likely, but I do have to say the warning. All right, so got the speedometer right there in front and center, and You can see the American ones there and the Canadian ones in the below that. Down here is your gear shift indicator. You do not have manual control of the gears, really. I mean, it's not a manual transmission, but there is a way to shift through the gears manually, which is useful for pulling down hills, things like that. I'll show you that. Over here is what's going on with your infotainment mostly. You can control that, by the way. So when you're running, I should point this out. When you're running these buttons there, you're actually running that screen, not really that screen. Again, that's to keep the driver's eyes on the road. Probably a good idea. Over here, that's what's run on the screen that is on the buttons right there on that side of the steering wheel. Several things going on, but you can see I've mostly been driving around town. I haven't put any freeway time on this yet. I am going out today to do some towing and off-roading and so forth, and I will put freeway time on that. So I will do, I'll be filling the tank and doing fuel economy and all of that with it for my own math. But you can see just driving around town, I've averaged almost 22 miles a gallon. So that's not bad at all. It's a little 2.3 turbo 4 in this thing. So a turbo 6. One of those. It's a 2.3 turbocharged engine. How's that? That's all you need to know anyway. And mileage there. Now, if I flip through these menus really quick, you can see kind of what's available. So let me see if I can get it to go through the other menus. There we go. So you can look at your trip menus, you can change your display modes, driver assist settings, etc. Kind of neat. I really like this. I've been, using the wrong buttons a lot. It does take a minute to get used to this. Largely that's just because I'm getting a little glare, aren't I? Largely that's just because there aren't as many things as you might expect, and it's a little weird. Oh, and I should also point out that little thing right there, that's your RPM gauge. That never goes away, FYI. Neither does the fuel gauge. And the engine start stop, you can toggle that. Well, you just saw how to do that in the menus there. So there you go. Going this way, here's the engine start. As far as I know, all the Ford Rangers are push button start. I don't believe there is a key. Here's the infotainment. This is the Sync 3 system. This is the main menu. So if you're hitting that home button, this is what you're looking at. One of my favorite songs is on. TNT. It's dynamite. All right. Let me look. So here's your phone if you have one connected. Quick access to the seat heaters. There are no coolers or anything else in this. Down here are your long menus. So you go through these. Most of the time, you're probably going to be either in the apps, the climate, or the audio. There are hard climate controls, which I tend to be using, but so I know some people are they like to use this. Go in here and do that really quickly, and it's perfectly fine. It's just not my preference. Navigation works pretty well in this as well. And get used to the settings button, because there are a lot of cool things you can set in the settings. So besides your usual Bluetooth and so forth, you can connect some mobile apps. So plug a phone in, get the Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, etc. playing. And there you go. Ford Pass Connect, that's a Ford thing. And you can see there's several screens of these. See, that indicates there's 3 screens, and you can just flip through those. There's some pretty cool stuff. You can change the ambient lighting. You can set up a valet mode, all that good stuff. So pretty cool. Looking down here, here's Duke's lights. Here is your hard buttons for the radio, so volume and so forth there. You push it to turn it off and mute. Over here is the tuning. This jumps tracks, play, pause. Kind of convenient, you know, when you're driving down the road and you need to quickly pause it because you can't hear whoever's talking in the back seat or whatever, tink, or you need to, you know, you got load flapping around and you're wondering what's going on, you need to hear it. Down here's climate control, so you can see it's dual, so you have the same controls on either side, over here and over here, and fan control there. Defrosts, so regular defrost, max defrost, rear window, and this is the auto, and this is how you turn it off. And then you have a hard seat heating button down here, and another for the passengers over there. Down here you have 2 12-volt plugs, boom and boom. Down there you have your USBs. I'll show you there's more, but those are the ones you're going to want, or you're going to use the most. Down here, if I can get it to set, here's your crawl mode. Here is your engine stop start hard button. So I did lie before. There is a way to toggle it there. Rear differential lock and traction control, parking sensors off, and trailering. You hook up a trailer, you use this, and it goes into trailering mode, changes transmission mapping, a few other couple things help it out. This is the shifter. Here's the manual gear shift selection. So you can go, when you're in drive, you can go up and down the gears right here. Kind of useful, like I said, for going downhills and stuff. In sport mode, not so much. Sport is at the bottom. So you pull past drive into sport. I don't like this kind of thing, but since you use it so rarely in a truck, it really doesn't matter. I'd rather have it here than up here on the big shift, you know, like is done in the bigger trucks. So yeah, it just, like I said, it's only marginally useful. You really just are probably going to be using it when you're dropping down a hill, or you're pulling a hill and you want to keep a gear and high RPM going up. That's the only reason I can really think of to use that as a rule. There you go. Handbrake right here, pretty cool. I like handbrakes for parking brakes. I don't like the foot brake as much. Over here, drink holders. You can see I have some junk in the seat because I've been filming and whatnot, but there's good seating in this, by the way. So nice and firm on the bottom and soft and giving up here. Just feels really good. I do wish there was a little more bolster, because even with my size, I'm a big dude, even with my size, I slide back and forth. Don't really like that. I wish it held me a little harder. Either that or different materials so you're not as slippery. Either one would work. Here's the interior. You can see it's pretty black, which, as most of you should know, if you watch any of my videos before, I am not a huge fan of black on black on black interiors. They did offset it a little bit though, so you can see the gray kind of going on there, and this is the same color gray. The reflections are kind of killing that, but it's the same color gray as that. And then you can see kind of the brushed nickel look going on. Door locks are over there. But again, black on black on black. They did do like this faux leather thing going on, which looks pretty nice. Jeez. Does look pretty nice, and it's pretty decent for sound dampening. And down here, though, all hard plastic. You know, this, I briefly had this on the highway. I've not had it like long term on the freeway yet, like I said, but I have had it on the highway, and that is a little loud on the road. Those gigantic mirrors that it's got going don't help, but really for a truck and for the price tag, it's not that bad. This does have the Bang & Olufsen stereo, so you can see that going on, and this nice little cubby is kind of neat, mostly for me, because I tend to mount my, right here, if I can get it to, there we go. I tend to mount my dash cam up here, and when it inevitably comes loose, it falls right into that tray. Nice and convenient. Anyway, oh, and the back seat, I probably should show you that. The back seat's decent. For the class, it's about what you expect. There's a little bit of storage underneath it, not a whole lot. Don't get too excited thinking you're going to get a lot of stuff in there. You're not gonna. But this does have decent back seating. I've had all three kids in the back, and they fit pretty well. And sliding rear window, etc. So there you go. That's about what I've got. This is the interior. This is the interior review for the 2019, more or less, Ford Ranger. One more time, this is a prototype, a pre-production vehicle. It is not a production vehicle, so there could be slight changes in the actual, but they'll be I guarantee they'll be really, really small. So there you go. That's what I got. This has been Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com. Talk to you again soon. Subscribe.